So I was talking to the homie and he said something that rubbed me all the wrong way. We was talking about our jobs and he gonna say, man, I ain't nothing but a janitor. Like, it's something wrong with that or he was looking down on it or something. I just had to ask him. Don't you have a wife and kids that you go home to every night? Are the lights on? You got tissue in the bathroom? There's gas in the car. And that's the problem. These immature kids out here want a job that looks pretty that they can post online about. We ain't got time to be worried about all that. If that job is enabling you to handle your business, then that's all that matters. Your job title don't define who you are. You can be a high-powered CEO making 8 figures but got 6 illegitimate children that you don't take care of. The real gonna respect the janitor before we ever respect that CEO. So don't be judging yourself with these childish lenses, because I'm gonna tell you, ain't nothing worse than being broke, dependent, and subject to the whims and wishes of another adult, especially as a man. And y'all have a blessed and beautiful day.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Don't be embarrassed about your job, Bookie. It don't matter what you're doing. Do not be embarrassed, because when you get into the money, what Young Dog said, get paid, young nigga, get paid. Get paid, young nigga, get paid. Whatever you do, just make sure you get paid. Don't let nobody make you feel small about your job. You get into the money. You get into the bag. What are they doing? Even if they have a higher position than you, it's still easy to lose that same higher position, baby. And then we're going to be at the same job, baby. Okay? So don't let nobody make you feel some type of way about your job. I think it's more embarrassing not to have a job than to have a job, to be real with you. So yeah, fuck them.
I think one of the main reasons why I'm so fiercely supportive of people who pursue their passions and why I am so committed to pursuing my own passions is partially because of the awful things that have been said to me over the years. I grew up very studious. I was that straight A student. I took AP classes in high school, graduated with a 4.2 GPA, blah, blah, blah. Getting good grades was always very important to me, and I didn't get my first A- until my freshman year of college. And it gave me a lot of anxiety. It was not in a good way. I would leave classes crying if I didn't understand a concept. Not good. Looking back, I wish I could tell myself to chill out and it's okay to not get an A. I think where things really took a turn for my mindset was when I was in middle school and I expressed to someone, I don't know if I want to say that they were important, but maybe someone who I was unknowingly trying to get their approval. At that time, I was interested in going to beauty school, so I expressed to this person that I wanted to, do hair for a living. And in response to me, this person said, "You can't do that. You're way too smart to do that." This might have been the first time where I witnessed that sort of judgment over a career choice. I didn't really understand until that point that people would judge you for doing the career you chose to do, or that certain jobs had superiority or status over other jobs. Obviously, going to beauty school is not the path that I ended up taking, but I did take the path of pursuing dance as a professional career. I think subconsciously I have struggled with it because there's always that voice in the back of my head that says, you're too smart to be pursuing the arts. You should have went to med school. You should have became a lawyer. You should have pursued a respectable job. The thing is, nothing fulfills me more than dance does. Had I pursued other career options, I'm not sure I would have been able to achieve that level of fulfillment or have been able to express myself creatively. I've just realized as I've gotten older, there are so many different ways to make money, and $100 is $100. $100 that a lawyer makes is the same $100 that a professional artist makes. Someone who makes $100 as a doctor and someone who makes $100 as a content creator, they both have $100. It doesn't really matter how they made that money. I just think job shaming is lame, and just because you could doesn't mean you should. Consider the value in how you spend your time, because that will determine how you spend your life. There are so many different ways to make money, especially in our current world. There are so many conventionally, traditionally book smart people who aren't pursuing those prestigious jobs. And that doesn't make you less than. At the end of the day, the only one who has to live your life on the day-to-day is you, and the only one who has to live up here is you.
And let me just say this, because I'm really seeing too much of it. When was it ever okay to go around job shaming people? Y'all sit up there and laugh at janitors for cleaning bathrooms, but y'all don't want to use the dirty bathroom. Y'all sit up there and laugh at CNAs for wiping butts, but who else gonna take care of your grandma or your granddaddy when you're not able to? Y'all sit up there and laugh at people that work at McDonald's or Taco Bell, but who else gonna serve you your food? How else you gonna get your food? I just really think it's weird for people to go around job shaming people. Like, everybody got to start from somewhere. So why try to knock somebody else's hustle? You had to start from somewhere. I had to start from somewhere. We all got to start from somewhere. So I just think it's weird for adults to go around job shaming people.
Unless you're stealing from fellow broke people and scamming from your fellow broke brothers and sisters in Christ, I will never job shame, especially in this economy. Like, every single person, I don't care how good your job is on paper, you're whoring yourself out for this capitalistic country. Somebody's dumb enough to spend their simoleons on feet pictures, you better collect your coins. Who am I to judge you? Who am I to judge the person putting their affiliate links and everything? Because y'all like to get mad at people. Oh, everything on TikTok is just yellow shopping. Take a look outside. Like, huh? Do you think these people are making $1 million off of an affiliate link? Let them get their little clicks in. Like, who is job shaming in this state? What? Yeah, Evie, because I'm confused too.
Y'all know one thing I don't get is a person that be shaming a person for what kind of job they got. Like, yo, I be seeing this shit so bad. People be like, oh, you work at McDonald's, you work at this fast food restaurant, you work at They making some money though. I don't judge nobody that's out here trying to get it, that's doing something. Y'all, like, I don't understand. You got people that be out here scamming, doing all this other shit, getting fast money, and I don't judge them either. But them be them same people that say, oh, y'all broke, you do. Bitch. My thing is, get it by all means. Hey, even if it's slowly coming, long as it's coming. Like, it don't matter how fast you get it, you getting it. That's all that matters. Like, for real. I never understood that, y'all. I still can't wrap my head around it, how people be like, yeah, oh, this ain't nothing. You got this. You ain't got this. Nobody give a fuck. Nobody give a fuck. And another thing is, what people fail to realize is all of us don't like give a fuck about materialistic stuff. And them be the main people that be like, oh, you ain't never seen this. Nobody give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, for real, long as you getting it, I respect you.
Get ready with me while I tell you all about the lady who job shamed me while paying me for my services. So I'm an esthetician and I specialize in body waxing. And disclaimer, this is not one of my current or regular clients. I only waxed this lady one time while I was still working for a corporate waxing company. I now own a body waxing business and my current clients would never. So I don't know this woman. First time ever meeting this lady, and normal people make small conversation and just talking, normal, just going through the wax. And at one point she asked me, so what's next after this? And I'm thinking, she's asking me, what am I doing after work that day? And I'm like, I don't know, probably go eat dinner, probably finish whatever show I'm watching, what are you doing? And then she's like, no, I mean, like, what's next after waxing? Come again? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is my job. Like, what do you mean? What am I doing after waxing? And she's like, well, this isn't your end goal, right? And I'm like, we pay thousands of dollars to obtain a license to be skincare professionals. This better be a career. I better make a career out of this. And I'm like, yeah, no, like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I went to school for. This is what I enjoy doing, And she's like, well, this just can't be it. Like, I know you have something else you want to do. I'm like, and I was like, I mean, this lady's really mad that I decided to be a body waxer and apparently not something else, even though, again, she's paying me to perform this wax for her, a service that she's obviously not going to do herself. She keeps asking me over and over, like, well, this can't be your end goal. This can't be your end goal. And I told her, well, eventually the goal is I want to own a body waxing business, which, hello, hi. And at this point, I'm already over this lady. She's lucky I didn't stop the service and just send her on her way. Don't know why or how, but at some point it came up that I have a degree in paralegal studies. And listen, anybody who knows me knows that I pretend that degree does not exist. I pretend that point in my life did not happen. I was super young when I was in college for that. I felt the pressure to pick a career path, so I just chose something, and I choose not to do it now. And she's like, oh, well, that's good. You can always do that. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, well, you don't know. I'm like, no, I know. I'm like, I know I'm not going to do it. And she's like, well, you don't know. I'm like, I did an internship for it while I was in college, and no hate to anybody who works a desk job, but the desk job wasn't for me. It was, to me personally, I thought it was kind of boring, so no, I know I didn't want to do it. And she still just kept saying, well, you just never know. I do know. It's been almost 10 years since I obtained that degree, and I have not once changed my mind about pursuing a degree or a career in paralegal studies. Like, I'm good on that. So the rest of her appointment consisted of her basically telling me that she did not approve of my career choice and that I needed to pursue my paralegal degree. And like the whole time, like, why do you care? Why do we care what other people are doing with their lives? Why do you care? What effect did this have on you? And I know so many people in the beauty industry that have all been asked that same question, like, well, that can't be it, right? Like, that can't be next. This can't be your end goal. Like, why are we still job shaming at this day and age? Like, a job is a job, no? So, moral of the story, I guess, 1, rude, and 2, mind your own business. Also, I think I speak for everybody in the beauty industry when I say you're welcome for us choosing this career path, because otherwise, how are you going to get your grays covered up or your coochie hair ripped out once a month?
One time when I was working as a waitress, this girl that I knew came and she was actually sat at my table. And she was like, hi. And I was like, oh my gosh, hi. LOL, whatever, we were talking. And then she was like, so you're a waitress here? And I was like, yeah, we've literally been talking and I'm wearing my apron and name tag. I was like, yeah, I am. I've been here, like, I've been a waitress here for like almost 3 years already. She was like, oh, okay. But she said it so obviously, like, judging me. And I was like, I was so confused. I was like, is she judging me? Because I literally can't fathom somebody judging you for a job. Like, I've never understood when people judge people for jobs. Like, I literally don't care if you clean toilets. I've cleaned toilets before. And I don't understand what the problem is. Like, I've never understood job shaming. Any job is a good job. Any job where you make money. Any job where you have enough money to eat that day. Any job that, if you have security, whatever, like, a job is absolutely nothing to be shameful of. Your character is something to be shameful of, because why are you judging me for working a server job? Anyways, I was working a server job because I was saving up for school. I paid off my school. I was able to pay off my school with my server job, and I have, thankfully, no debt. So yeah, never be ashamed of any job you ever work. I don't care if, even if I wasn't saving up for school, I probably would have still gotten a server job, because it's honestly one of the jobs that teaches you the most humility. It teaches you a lot about everything. So yeah.
Something I'll never understand is job shaming. Why would you shame someone for a job that they probably don't even want to have to do, but they have to do in order to make money and provide for themselves? What have you gained in making someone feel bad about their job because it's not seen as cool? Just because you are lucky enough to be able to have a job that is seen as like really cool in society and earns you a lot, not everyone is able to have that. And I think it's so weird when people shame other people because they have to just make ends meet. And life comes at you fast. You'd be surprised the next day you might be in that same position, but a job is a job. Money is money. And you'd be surprised how many jobs that don't look great actually earn like the same amount that people get in a basic 9 to 5, but theirs looks more glamorized because they go to an office and they are at a desk, and someone else who's, you know, more out and about. You'd be surprised. So job shaming, it ain't cute. Like, it ain't cute.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Good morning, everybody. So I was on Facebook today, okay? And I saw a post that said, you know, I don't job shame, but, you know, if you're over 21 and you still work at McDonald's, that's not okay. Not only that post is a walking contradiction, but the simple fact of the matter is, why do we still job shame people to this day? You know, regardless of what somebody's situation is, as long as you're taking care of your business, as long as you're doing everything you need to do to better your life and do what you can, regardless if it's McDonald's, BP, Sheets, Wendy's, wherever you work at, as long as you're going to work, you're taking care of your business, that's all that matters. That is your money and you worked hard for it. One thing about it, you're not begging for it, you're not asking for it, you're putting in your time and your effort to do that. And trust me, it can all pay off in the long run. You can use those jobs for a stepping stone to get something better. So guess what? We do not job shame on my page. We don't do that bull crap over here. As long as you're handling your business, that's all that matters. Y'all have a good morning and God bless.
If you want to lose my respect, here's one thing you can do. Job shame. I hate people who job shame. Why are you job shaming the custodians that work at the school cleaning up? Why are you job shaming the people that work at Burger King? Why are you job shaming people? You wouldn't be able to eat your goddamn Whopper Junior or whatever the hell they sell if there was nobody working there. You wouldn't be able to go to school on a clean campus if there was no custodians working there. And let's add the fact that the custodians are only working there because you make a mess. You make the mess, and they have to clean it up. And that's their job, to clean up your freaking mess, right? So stop job shaming people. Everybody is important. Every single person is important. And I'm gonna tell you why they're important in my next TikTok. Everybody's important.
So what do you do for work, Andre? I'm a barista in a coffee shop. All right. So is that all that you do? What do you mean? I mean, is this a job that you do while you're studying, or? No, I'm not studying or anything. This is just my job. Yeah, okay, but surely you've got plans to move on soon, you know, and do something different. You don't want to be a barista forever, do you? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I might not. But surely you want to be more than just a barista. I like being a barista. Really? Yes. But surely that's not a job that you should be doing for your whole life. Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to shame anyone that works in a coffee shop or anything. I really appreciate that people make coffee. You know, I buy coffee from baristas all the time, so I really appreciate them. I know they're really valued, but you just seem like a really smart boy, and, you know, you don't want to waste your potential in a coffee shop, do you? If you need any advice, I know some people that did like fast track courses to get into like accountancy and finance and stuff, so you might be interested in doing something like that, you know, a lot more respectable than working at a coffee shop, I would say. Right, yeah. If I ever change my mind, I'm sure you will.
Job shaming is the most stupidest thing that I've seen going around. And if you're one of those clowns who do that, take a good long hard look in the mirror, and when you're done that, charge head first at the first solid vertical surface that you see. Because what is wrong with you? How are you shaming somebody for working a legal, legitimate job, paying their bills, living their life, feeding their family? You're gonna shame them. Some of them are happier than you clowns who are working 9 to 5. I'm not calling everyone who works a 9 to 5 a clown, but I'm just saying, yeah, if you job shame, some of them are happier than you man who are being worked like slaves in your office jobs with no damn breaks. You understand what I'm saying? Some of you need to look at what your parents were doing when they first got to this country, because they might have degrees and all that stuff, but I remember when they come over to England, they would look at them and be like, I don't give a fuck what degree you got. You're not good enough to spit on my shoe, because things don't always translate over. So before you sit down and job shame somebody, be so frank and be so fucking lamp, because you also don't know where life is going to take you and what job you're going to have to work. A lot of people look down on things like McDonald's. Listen, if you work in McDonald's, you can get me a bag of selects. Let me get that bag of selects and tell me the cooking settings, yeah? You understand? You know what I mean, fam? And let me not even talk about the people who choose to do your illegal jobs. Yeah? You choose to do your fraud, you choose to do your trapping, and you choose to fucking sell your pussy on the sidewalk. But you want to be judging people. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. You're robbing old people and shotting crack and being a prostitute. Stop it. Yeah? Stop it. But anyways, follow me. Follow me for more words of wisdom. And a pretty face. And before anybody gets their knickers or their boxers in a twist, those 3 things that I listed at the end are not legal jobs. They are not legal jobs. More time, people don't have to do them for the most part. I understand that sometimes that is people's only option, but I'm talking about when you have other options and you choose to do that and shame other people. Yeah, just, that's all I'm saying.
Paper is paper. Money is money, especially in this economy. Do not shame someone for what they do for work. As long as it is legal and moral, it is totally fine. Stop shaming people for what they do for work. Work is work. Every job has its role, and having a job is better than being broke. A job is a job, and it helps people to handle what they have to handle. And that's pretty much it.
So I think I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to others, but one thing I cannot stand and I won't tolerate, and I hope my kids know this too, is do not ever put somebody down, shame people for the kind of job they have. Life is too freaking expensive for anybody right now to be shitting on others constantly of what they are doing to try to survive. Everybody's job in the world somehow makes the world go around. So why are you constantly shitting on others for what they are doing to try to support themselves, to support their families, to put food on the table, to keep the lights on? And if you have to get a second job or a third job, do not ever let anybody make you feel some type of way about the kind of job that you are getting or are considering getting. That's it. That's my rant for the day. Stop shitting on people right now for what they are doing in their lives to try to support themselves and their families. That's all.
I had to do sensitivity training for my new job, and I just like how anytime someone's doing anything wrong, it's a white person. But anytime they're talking about being diverse or inclusive, it always mentions like super, like one was like Lee Juan was talking to Tim about Tim's drinking problem. Or Doug, who had pictures of women. And when, I think it was literally Baba, I'm not sure what that means, but I guess it's a name. When Baba mentioned it to him, that the pictures made him uncomfortable, Doug was like, you just wish you would look like these women, but you can't. It's cracking me up. It's like, okay, make sure we're inclusive, but anytime anybody's doing something poor, for an example, make sure they're obviously white and obviously a male. Tim, Doug, there was a Steve in there, all of them causing problems around the office. You make sure you're inclusive, but only the white people are the problem.
There's nothing in this life that's humbled me more than working a call center job. I want to preface this video by saying that this is in no way, shape or form an effort to bash people that work in call centers. Job is a job, especially with the current job market in South Africa. Like, this is in no way, shape or form to judge anyone that works in a call center right now. I'm here to tell you that things can change. I'm sat in my car, I just left the office. It's 4 o'clock on a Thursday, just before the public holiday, and I'm just thinking about how different my life is now that I don't work in a call center anymore. First and foremost, the fact that I can even celebrate South African public holidays, already a win. Because when I used to work there, I used to work for UK-US market, which means no South African public holidays. You see that Squidward meme where he's watching SpongeBob and Patrick frolicking around and he's watching them through the blinds? That's how I used to feel. Barring the fact that I used to work crazy hours, Oaks, I never used to see the sun. And my weekend started on a Saturday. I didn't get Friday afternoons. No, my weekend started on a Saturday morning at 1 a.m. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I need you to push through and I need you to dream big for yourself, because things can change and things will change so long as you put your mind to it. Maybe one day when I'm strong enough, I'll talk about all the things I went through working at a call center. I'll need to write it down just so I make sure I don't leave anything else. But guys, things can change. I just need you to be strong. I need you to pull through. And I also need you to believe that things will change for yourself, because you deserve so much more. Promise you.
Let's talk about passion jobs and the shame that often comes with them. I work with burnt out overachievers, and while some of them are business owners, co-founders of their own companies, a lot of them are working in corporate, all the way from the C-suite down to the individual contributor level. And a thing that I find is that while some people are like, a job's a job and this one pays nicely, a lot of folks really love what it is they do, or at least they did before they got burnt out. The paradox that I often see is almost this sheepishness when the joy of working either returns to the person or they always have that joy. It's just that they have wanted to make room for other things. Almost this guilt and shame in the sense of, I'm doing something wrong if I love what I'm doing at work. But why would I encourage you to do something that made you miserable 40 plus hours every single week? The goal in my mind is to do something that you love doing, whether it's personally deeply meaningful and you feel like you're saving the whales, or it's just a really cool puzzle to figure out, or you're touching on something that millions of people are going to see and there's something exciting about that, or you just really like being around the types of people that tend to be drawn to your particular field. I think there's this really toxic flip side of the coin in the wellness space, almost this anti-hustle culture that still feeds into the myth that hustle culture is founded on. And it goes a little something like this. If you work a 9 to 5, it has to be this soul-sucking, horrible, terrible thing. You're just a cog in the machine. Nothing you do matters, and thus you shouldn't feel any type of way about it. And the only way in this weird wellness myth to have good work-life balance, to have a personal life, to have good well-being, is to find a job that you can just switch off from entirely, one that you do not care about at all. Try and waste as much company time as humanly possible, because the goal is to work as little as humanly possible so that you can stay in misery for the least amount of time, because the opposite is clearly that you overvalue professional success and it's hustle culture. But both of them are saying work has to be misery, and the only way to succeed professionally is to drive yourself into the ground. Now, if you want to go get what people are calling a lazy girl job, basically a job that is still paid really well, but that you don't have to use your brain for at all, you can switch off. If that's the best way to be protective of your personal time, the best way for you personally is to do something that you hate so much you're excited to put it down, or that you can ignore. Like, you are the expert in your own life. You can do that. I would be so miserable if I was spending even 10 hours of my week in such a job. I would not do well. I would not do well in that job, but I love what I do. And I've worked corporate and loved what I did. And I work with people who love what they do. So if you are someone who wants to work in jobs that tend to be high pressure, to enjoy the fact that a lot of times those jobs are really well paid, and also have the time and energy and emotional and mental capacity to enjoy your personal life outside of that job, give me a follow and check out the newsletter for weekly actionable tips.
I see people and they're like, you didn't want to wait for a better job? You stuck with Wendy's? I'm like, yeah, I don't like being broke.
What do you do for a living?
I'm kind of embarrassed.
Never be ashamed of where you work if it's an honest living. Let me tell you something. I will respect anybody who wakes up and goes to work and punches in at a job that they don't like. I will always respect that, because we live in a society now where it's almost like people shame you for working, and then they shame the place you work. Let's say you work at Walmart or some, the ice cream stand, and people are, oh, not you 25 working at the ice cream store. It's like, it's sad. It's really sad, And as a content creator, like someone kind of with a big following of TikTok, over the years, I've heard people, oh, I don't get why you're working. Because I want to. Because I've been working since 15. I have zero desire to ever, at this point in my life, be a full-time content creator. And it's so easy for y'all to say that, but until you know how to start getting brand deals, until you are waiting 3 months to get paid for that one TikTok that you made months ago, chasing money, the shit gets old. It really does. And it's not for everybody, and it's certainly not for me. I just do it as passive income, but it is not something ever I would consider long term. It's cute little grocery money here and there, pays the Netflix and all that, but I just want to say, if you are working a job, don't ever be embarrassed. And if somebody's shaming you for working at wherever, they're an awful person, because you sitting there waking up, going to a job that you probably don't like, whatever. But it's an honest living. And I hope one day you find a career that you're passionate about, but not everybody has that. Some people they just go to the job to do the job, and then they do their passions on the side on the weekends. And that's that. You don't need not everybody wants to escape the capitalistic, not everybody wants to sell Herbalife, Baba Jean. Not everybody wants to hustle. It's sell courses for a living. Shit. Okay.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.